All right, so for this second tree that I'm going to be making for you, it's going to be, excuse me, a little bit bigger. I've already made the first two squares that we need in order to make our tree. Now, this yarn that I'm using here is Crafter's Secret Big Idea. This skein is a 16-ounce skein. There are 810 yards. It's one reason why I love the Crafter's Secret. And it's also a nice soft acrylic. It really is. There are 740 meters. Like I said, it is 100% acrylic. It is a medium 4-weight acrylic. And I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter or a eye hook. So what I wanted to show you was that each one of these squares are going to get just a little bit bigger, which is what we want because the tree, you know, is going to get bigger. So I've already made up the first two squares. I am going to start the third square with you and talk about where the first square ends and where the middle square ends, and then we'll finish off the third square together. And then I'll show you how to put it together and then talk to you about some different ways in which you can embellish it. Now, as you saw on my little white tree, I used some of my stitch markers. And I think that's a great idea. I mean, we all love buying beautiful stitch markers, and many times we just buy them because they're pretty, but we don't really use them. So at this time of the year, what a wonderful way to display them, especially if you have stitch markers that are Christmas themed. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put these two here off to the side. Grab me some yarn here. Let me get it going. It should, since I've used this skein already quite a bit, it should pull quite easily for me. But you know, it would not surprise me if I didn't have a yarn barb here in just a little bit. So let me put that down. I'll get this going here. Now I really loved this stitch because, where's my hook? There she is. I will be using one of my Furls metal streamlines. Get it in focus there. There you go. This is a 5.5 millimeter or a letter I hook. You will find a link down in my description box. I am an affiliate for Furls, so if you are ever in the need of a hook and you do like Furls products, I would like to ask that you use my link. It doesn't cost you anything to use it, but it does give me a few pennies every time there's a purchase made using my link, and I use that money to feed back into my channel for giveaways and things like that. So I would greatly appreciate your support in that way. Alright, so I am going to start by using the magic ring. Now you can, if you're not comfortable using the magic ring, you can always do a chain 4 and slip stitch back into that very first chain. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and we're going to put 3 double crochets into the chain. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do this 3 more times. So here's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2, 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Oh, yeah, need to make the third one, don't I? And then my last 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. chain 1. I'm going to tighten this up. Now whether you use the magic ring or you use the chain 4 method, doesn't matter. You will need to tighten that up, and then we are going to slip stitch right back into this very first double crochet that we worked. We're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. Now if you want to, you can sew this end all the way around, or I like to just lock it down for a couple of stitches and then I'll come back and stitch it in, because sometimes this circle here can open up on you. So I only do this for just a couple of stitches. Alright, so working right into this chain 1 space here, we're going to work 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then go right back into that chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, this starts our first corner of the next round. Now I'm going to skip these 3 double crochets and come right over here into the chain 1 space, and I'm going to do it again. And that's what we're going to do in all 3, or this corner, this corner, and this corner. We're going to do 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Here's the first set. Oh, I did 4. Can't count. One and 2, and 3 more double crochets. That tapping you hear is my bracelet tapping the edge of my table. Alright, skip these 3 right over into this next corner here. 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, chain 2, sorry, and chain 3. 3 double crochets. I'm just wanting to get chains in there, aren't I? It starts out just like your typical granny square. And I'll make my last corner. Two and 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, we're going to skip on over here, and in our first double crochet, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And so there's my first corner, and as you can see, my magic ring opened up, which is alright, it's going to. But you can just tighten it down, or you can wait till the very end. So here I have my corners, and as I said, this is what a granny square typically starts out looking like. Now this next round that we're going to make starts that nice texture that we are building. So this is our first textured round. And like I said, I chose this particular granny square because I just like the fact that not only is it textured, but whenever it's folded up, when I saw this square, I immediately thought of that makes some great looking branches to go on a Christmas tree. I mean, I've used granny squares before to make Christmas trees with, just a traditional granny square, but I really like this one because it gives the illusion of the branches, you know, that poke out from the tree. So that's the reason why I chose it. But anyway, so this starts our textured round. All right, we've joined, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets right in this chain 1 space, or excuse me, the space between the 2 clusters of 3 double crochets. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to connect this chain into this first double crochet in round 1. So we're going to come down to round 1 and we're going to go around the post of this first double crochet. Oops. And make a single crochet. And then we're going to turn and we're going to put 6 single crochets around this chain 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to skip over to this first corner here, and we're going to do our corner, which is the typical 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. There's 2 and 3, chain 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip over to the space between these the 3 double crochet clusters that we have here, and we're going to put, excuse me, 3 double crochets. Had to get some more yarn there. Two and 3. Then we're going to chain 4, 3 and 4, and we're going to come down to row 1 here, and we're going to put a front post single crochet around that post, or you can just say you're going to wrap around that post and create a single crochet. Then we're going to work again 6 single crochets right back up this chain. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to jump over to the corner, skip these 3 double crochets, and we're going to make a corner cluster, I guess you could say, of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. 1. I'm going to move my yarn so it's easier for me and won't be catching on my arm there all the time. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 1, 2. That was not a double crochet. All right, we've made our corner, and again we're going to come right between these 2 sets of clusters, and we're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4, come down to this first row and make a front post single crochet, 6 single crochets right back up our chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to again make another corner. So come right here into the chain 2 space. We're going to put 3 single crochets. I'm going to get some more yarn out. 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2, 3 more single crochets to finish out the corner. Did I say single? Should have said 3 more doubles. So that finishes our corner. Again, we're coming right here in between these 2 clusters, and we're going to put 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 4, come down to this first row here, make our front post single crochet, turn so that we can put our 6 single crochets along the chain, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to do our last corner here of 3 double crochets. Chain 2. Three double crochets. And we're going to slip stitch right back into this first double crochet that we made. Now that completes our first round of using the little textured stitch that gives us our little branches. Now in between each one of these rows that has our branches, we're going to put in a regular row of granny stitches. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And working right back into this space here, we're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to jump right over here in the corner and we're going to do our corner cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Now we do it this way because it definitely forces the branch row, is what I like to call it, to be on the front side of our square. Alright, we're going to come right over here and in between, see where this little branch is here that we made? We're going to go between that branch and this 3rd double crochet, and we're going to put 3 double crochets. We're going to skip over to the next space between the 3 double crochets and we're going to put another set of 3 double crochets. We're going to skip into our corner here and we're going to put our corner 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Now I hope you can see that what we're doing is between our corners we are adding, on this row, we are adding the granny stitch or clusters of 3 double crochets in between the sets of 3s from the following row. And this is what you're going to do every time you have just worked a row with your branches here. You're going to turn and you're going to do what I like to call just a regular granny stitch row. Alright, so I finished that corner, skipping this cluster, going right in between there, right in front of where that branch is that we made from the previous row, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets. We need to get some more yarn here. Remember one time when I was making some granny squares, I got the bright idea to just pull me out a whole bunch of yarn. Boy, did I not have the biggest mess. Because you know what happens, it gets all tangled up and knotted up. Alright, we're skipping over here again to this next space between the 3 double crochet clusters, and we're putting in 3 more double crochets. Skip over to the corner. We'll do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. One, 2, and 3. Again, skip the 3 into that space, 3 double crochets. Skip these 3 into the space, another group of 3 double crochets. Skip to the corner, and we do our corner piece of 3, 2, and 3. And we'll do our last cluster here between this set of 3 double crochets. And I think I just saw a hair. Sure did. Do not want that in there. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then we will join with a slip stitch into the top of this very first double crochet. Chain 1, turn our work, and now we're ready to build our next round that has our little branches on it. So to get started, we've chained 1, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in this space between these 2 clusters of 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 4, and we're going to come right down into the row below, and we're going to go around this first double crochet and make our front post single crochet. Now if you notice, that post is a little thick because it is our first post from the previous round. Alright, now we're going to do our 6 double crochets, 6 single crochets back up the chain. 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and 6. Going to come over, and in between the spaces here, we're going to do that again. We're going to put in another branch on this row. So we're going to come in here and put 3 double crochets. What happened here? I didn't finish out that stitch. There we go. So this row is all about putting in branches. So there's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to come down to this set of 3 double crochets, go around that first post, make our single crochet stitch, or front post single crochet. I try to make it not sound quite as bad because I know some folks don't like making front post stitches, let alone front post single crochets. And then we're going to make our single crochets coming right back up the chain. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, here we are at the corner, and we're going to do just our normal corner pattern of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and 1, 2, 3. Now we're coming over to our space in between our first 2 clusters, and we're going to do this again. We're going to yarn over and make 3 double crochets in the space. Excuse me. Chain 4, come down to the row below, just underneath, and we're going into this first, around the post of that first double crochet, and making a single crochet, and then come right back up the chain with our 6 single crochets. 4, 5, and 6. Over to the next space in between our clusters, and we're going to make another branch. So we're going in with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4. Come down, and you're going to have to pull this branch out of the way so that you find the cluster that you're going to work into. Go around that post, make a single crochet, and again, did I slip stitch that? I think I slip stitched that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down around my post and do a single crochet. Maybe I didn't. It just looked like I slip stitched. And again, come back up the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And before I move on, I need to get some more yarn. All right, 6. I'm ready to come over and do this again in the next space. 3 double crochets. 3, chain 4, come down to the cluster below, go around that front post, make a front post single crochet, and now we're ready to go back up the chain with our 6 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're at our corner, so we're going to do our corner pattern. I finish that off. Yes, I did. Okay. So we're going to yarn over and do our 3 double crochets, chain 2. Just realized Lacey's underneath me here. Do y'all hear her snoring? I'm so sorry for that. 1, 2, and 3. And again, now coming along this edge, we're going to put in our branches. So again, in between each one of these clusters, we're going to put in a branch. So we go in with 3 double crochets. Chain 4, come down to this first cluster right below, make our front post single crochet, and come right up the branch, or make our branch by coming right up the chain and putting in 6 singles. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, going into the next space between the clusters. 1, 2, and 3. Go to the group right up underneath here, and we're going to make a front post single crochet. Make our branch. Oh, I forgot to chain. Look at that. Not going to make much of a branch there, am I? All right, so we made our 3 double crochets. And now we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. Come down to this first double crochet and make our front post single, and then again coming back up the chain, 6 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, and 6. One more branch to make on this row, so I'll come over here and put in my 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. Get some more yarn. Okay, now I'm ready to make my last branch. Chain 4, come down to the cluster down below, make my front post single crochet, go around my chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm at the corner, so now I'm ready to do my corner pattern of 3, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 1, 2 and 3. Again, we're just going to continue all the way around until we get back over here. So I'm just going to sit here and do this with you. Now, if you are having a difficult time following me, you know that you can slow down the speed. You can also rewind. But hopefully I've done this enough times with you now that you know what you're doing. 3 and 4. Going right up underneath, going under the cluster, or to that cluster, excuse me, that's right under where I was working. To make the front post, going back up the chain. Four, 5, 5 and 6. To the next space, 3 double crochets. Chain 4. Come down below. Front post single, and now my 6 single crochets. And do it again, my last branch for this row. I shouldn't say row, I should say side, shouldn't I? Although I guess you could kind of call it a row, couldn't you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the cluster below. Front post single. 6 singles up the chain. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And now I'm ready to make my last corner. One, 2 and 3. Chain 2. 1, 2 and 3 to finish out the corner. And now we're ready to make our last branch of this round. So we're going to go into the space there and make 3 double crochets. Chain 4. And come to our cluster just below, make our front post, single crochet, and again come up the branch, come up the chain, excuse me, to make our branch with 6 singles. Four, 5 and 6. And then we're going to connect into the top of this first double crochet with a slip stitch, chain 1, and turn our work. Now we're going to go right back into this space here, so I'm going to have to move that branch out of the way, and we're going to do our granny round. Remember, it's just putting in our clusters of 3 double crochets around the sides and making our corner pattern of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the corner. So I've made my chain 1. I'm going to put 3 double crochets here in the space. There's 1, 2. Getting some more yarn here. So there was 1, 2, 3. Going over to the next space, putting in 3 double crochets. Now ready to do my corner pattern here of 3, 2, and 3, 3 doubles, chain 2 and 3 doubles. Chain 2 and 3 doubles. And that's what we're going to do all the way around. We're not making branches on this side. We're just doing the regular granny square pattern. Here's 3 of putting 3 double crochets in between each cluster from the row below. Now don't forget, you need to move those branches there out of the way because you don't want to crochet into them. Skip over to the next one, and again I'm going to pick that up and just move it out of my way so I can put in my 3 double crochets. Two and 3. Jump over to the next one. 1, 2, and 3. Jump over to the next one. And as I said, that's what you're going to do all the way around. So I'm going to let you finish that, and I'll meet you right back over here when we slip stitch back into the top of this first double crochet of the first cluster. Alright, I've made it back around, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this first cluster of 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now this completes the first square, or the very top square. And what you're going to find is these squares build on each other. The first square will have a round of 1 branch and 3 branches. And then you're going to finish it off, the round or the square, with single crochets, and I'll show you that in just a minute. The next size square will have 1 round of 1 branch. The next round will have 3 on each side, is what I should say. And then the next round will have 5 rounds, or 5 branches. And then their last one will have 7. So you're going to have 1, 3, excuse me. Yes, sorry. 1 and 3. The next one will have 1, 3, and 5. And then the last one will have 1, 3, 5, and 7. All right, so to finish off this square, rather than doing another round of this branch stitch, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in the top of each stitch all the way around. And when we come to the corners, 2, 3, just going around putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. And then when we get to the corner, we will put 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And when you put that third one there, make sure that you look for the top of this first double crochet and put in your single crochet. 2, and just like I said, just go all the way around. One single crochet in the top of each stitch from the previous row. Now notice we're not going in between the clusters, we're just putting single crochets on the top of each double crochet, giving it a nice pretty edge. And again, when you come to the corner, we're going to put 3 single crochets right here in the corner in the chain 2 space. And 3. Get myself some more yarn here. And that is how you will finish out the square. And then when you come to your first single crochet, you'll just join with a slip knot and tie off. So see how it gives this pretty edge here along the side. It gives you nice spacing here that you're going to need to whenever we fold it and stitch it together. Now the first square that we make, I'm going to move this one off to the side. First square here that we make should measure about 9 inches across. Oh, you can't see that. Let me turn it this way. There we go. Your first square, or the one that'll go on top, will measure 9 inches. Your next square, measuring it from corner to corner, should measure about 11. And then your final square will measure about 13. So once you've made your first square, tie off, and as I said, you'll have 1 round of 1, 1 round of 3. On your next one, you'll have 1 round of 1, 3, and 5. And then on your last one, you'll have 1, 3, 5, and 7. So I'm going to leave you for just a few minutes and give you the opportunity to make all 3 of your squares, and then I will show you how we are going to put them together. All right, excuse me. So this is the largest of the 3 squares that we made. I've gone ahead and stitched up the edges, as you can see here, and I also stitched up the edges of the one that will go in the middle, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to use the smallest so we don't waste a lot of time here. Set those off to the side. I'm going to take the smallest here and show you how I did it, however you wish to use it. I just did a mattress stitch to put the edges together. Now there is a seam that runs down from corner to corner. It doesn't matter which way you fold this. You're just going to make a triangle by folding the 2 edges together. Now, I did not use any clips or stitch markers or anything to hold my edges together, because once you get started, you'll find that the edges of your stitches are just going to line right up. So I already have some corresponding thread, or yarn, excuse me, on my hook. And I am just going to come right here. You'll remember we have 3 single crochets. I'm sorry, I was trying to remember what I did on the edging. 3 single crochets here in the corner, so I'm going to go right here into this middle one. And yes, I did pull out an excessive amount of yarn, and I'm going to go back through again to just tie it off, and then we will come back. You're going to want to leave yourself a good tail here so that you can come back and stitch that or hide it in. All right, and then like I said, I just come along here and I line up my stitches, with this one being in the corner, and you can see your clusters here, your 3 double crochets are all going to line up. You want them laying on top of each other. So what I do is I just come right in here and I pick up both loops of the single crochet from that one side and pull it through to the other side, and then I just pull my yarn through, go to the next one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just going back and forth. Come to the next one. Oops, picked up some yarn from over here. Mercy me. Now you may not like to work with as long a tail as I have out here, and that's fine. And like I said, just right on down, you'll find that they will naturally line up themselves. I'm going under the top of the stitch on both sides because it gives me a nice little clean edge there. Come to the side, go under the next one. And I'm just going to do that till I get to the top. See how the clusters line up here? Going under that loop, that stitch head, and coming back to the front again. So I'll catch up with you in just a moment whenever I get up to the top. Alright, I'm coming right back up here to the top. I just have a few stitches to get there. And just like coming up the sides, folks, your stitches are going to line up even up here at the top. So here we are in our corner. There's the first stitch of the 3 that we put in the corner. Here is the middle stitch. And here is the third stitch. So now we're getting ready to come down to the other side. See that nice clean edge there that it makes? And once again, you're just going to allow your stitches, your clusters from both sides to line up with one another. And I'll meet you down here at the end and I'll show you how I tie off. Alright, I'm coming down here to the end. I'm about ready to make my last little corner here. And then we will assemble our triangles to make our tree. And then here's my little point, and I am going to go ahead and stitch right there through it to give it a nice finished piece there. And then I'm just simply going to come right back in here and hide my tail in before I cut it loose. I'll go back one more time. Now I don't know how you weave your ends in, but I do like to go back and forth 3 times. There we go, and then just one more time. So I'm just going to go in here, maybe go down a different route. Here we go. All right. Snip her off. Pull that hair out of there. Oops. There's my needle. I want to come over here and go ahead and take care of this other tail. Sorry, my mat got off kilter. What'd I do? Huh. Let me get this fixed back. Oh, I bet I missed. That's what it was. I hit my camera, I guess, somehow. All right, coming over here and taking care of the tail that I started with. And do the same thing. Just find me a place where I want to hide it. Go in a few stitches. There we go. Come on. Come on now. Go back again. What makes it nice with it being doubled like this is that you don't have to worry about where you're hiding your stitches coming out on the other side. All right. Now for the assembly. Alright, so let me get some more yarn back on my needle here. And then we'll start with the assembly. There we go. Mussy me. Alright, so we are going to start with the largest piece first. No, excuse me, I start with the smallest piece first. Alright, and we are going to assemble these by taking one triangle and putting it on top of the other. Now you can catch as much as you want. You're just going to lay it on top and just stitch from, I'm sorry here. You're going to line them up. See where the seam, you want those seams to line right up on top of each other. There we go. Sorry, my camera won't go up any higher. You want to lay the seams here where this seam is going to line up on each other. And you're going to attach by working a slip stitch or a mattress stitch, whatever you want to call it, from here up to the top and back. Now you don't have to go in through each stitch, but I do just to secure it better, because by the time you get all 3 of these attached to one another, there is quite a bit of weight, and so you want to make sure you've got some good tacking going on here. Alright, so I'm going to turn this off to the side. I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to lift this up. I'm going to come off to the side here and feed in just a little bit. Gives me a running start as to where I want to attach, and then I'm just going to go right up into that other triangle there, pull this through, and leave myself a good healthy tail to stitch in later. And then I'm going to go right back in here, come up to the back side. Alright, now I'm going to layer down, And I'm just going to start grabbing stitches. So I'm going to come from here from the top, go down and grab some of my yarn from the tree on the top. And this will be my first stitch, just to get me anchored up into the other fabric. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go top, bottom, top, bottom. So here we are. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to lengthen my stitch there. And now I'm going to come over just a little bit, and I'm going to go right through into the triangle that I have on top. I'm going to pull my yarn through, and then I'm just going to go in behind one loop and come back along the edge here and pull it through, anchoring the two together. Then I'm going to move over a stitch or two and go all the way through to my front triangle piece here. And I'm going to skip over a stitch, and again I'm going to come up from behind or underneath. There we go. Making sure I'm catching a healthy edge of this triangle underneath. And that's all I'm going to do, is just go back and forth from the back piece all the way through to the front. Making sure my lines are staying, yep, they're still staying together there. And again, I'm going to go to the back. You're going to find that these loops that you're catching in the front are not going to be noticeable because of that highly textured stitch that we use. Now going back to the front. And again, just finding me a loop here to go back and catch it. So that's all I'm going to do all the way around. I'm going to come up here and grab right there in the middle. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just going to catch me a piece here to go back through there at the top. And I'm just going to do that coming down here, and I'll show you how I tie off when I get down here. Okay.
You recording?
Mm-hmm. But I'm at a spot where it's going to get cut out.
Okay. I just put my earbuds in. Sorry.
It's all right.
I was listening to make sure you weren't talking, so
Yep.
when I was coming in here, she's not talking right now. Let me come in real quick. Sorry.
Like I said, pieces that are going to get cut out. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm still not 100%.
I can't believe it.
Well, sorry. I don't know what happened, but you really did a number on me, so.
But it wasn't really the problem.
I don't know what happened, Wayne, but it's irritated. Alright, so I have just attached both edges, and what I like to do as well, you'll notice they came out here on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack in a few places along here so that it has that little bit of extra security. I'm just going to come in and, as I said, grab a few stitches here. Come up here, just kind of come in and, like I said, grab a couple of stitches and just come in from the underside of where it's rolled or folded, and then just kind of run along the inside here a little bit and come down and pick up a stitch maybe from the bottom, come back up. Like I said, I just want to give it some added strength there, because depending on what kind of little ornaments or trimming that you want to do on it, you certainly want it to you don't want it to pull your work. Like I said, just come along, grab a couple of stitches top and bottom. You can hide your yarn as you're going through there. And I'm getting ready to come back over here where I started. Ooh, did it again, didn't I? Here we go. Alrighty. Then I'm just going to come right along the edge here. And as I said, right back where I started. Now I'm just going to hide this yarn tail by, again, just, you know, a couple of stitches down, going in between there. Hide my yarn tail. Come back up a few stitches. Doesn't take many. And then one more time. I think I'll go down this way. Run right here into this little stitch. Just kind of follow it down. There we go, right there. I like to go back and forth and then up or down. but that's just personal preference. You tie off however you like to and weave in your ends however you like to. That off and I'll use it on the next section. And again, just hide your yarn tails how you like. If there's anything that I hate is knowing that my tails are going to come out. Especially if I give this as a gift. Oh my goodness. There we go. Alright, now you're going to do the same process with your other tree. Flip it on the back. Now this is the big section. So again, just wherever it is that you wish to place it, just make sure that your spine here is lined up. And I'll join you back after I get this one attached here, and then we will compare it to the other one, and I'll just give you some suggestions as how you can embellish it. So I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes. All right, so here she is. Here's all three pieces put together. Let's get her straightened up there. There you go. Now you can embellish her however you wish. You can take some beading and wrap through here. If you've got some, if you have collected stitch markers, you know, Christmas stitch markers, that would be a great way to display them for Christmas on this beautiful little Christmas tree. Now remember, this one that I demonstrated for you is made out of 4-weight acrylic. I will give you the finished sizes here. I should have done that before I came up here to show you the finished piece. But this one from top to bottom is 14 inches in length, and the widest part, which is the triangle down here at the bottom, is also 14. So it turns out to be about a 14 by 14 if you use a 4-weight and an eye hook, which is what I did. And this one that I showed you at the very beginning, which I've already got decorated with some of my Christmas stitch markers. I haven't decided yet if I want to go back and put some little red beading around here, if I'm just going to leave her like that. I'm still playing with the idea, so I haven't made up my mind. But like I said, there are so many ways in which you can use this little tree. I think it would make a great Christmas gift for a teacher. You know, maybe put a few little ornaments on it, go down to the dollar store or Walmart, buy some cute little ornaments to hang on there for them. Maybe even embellish it with some Christmas lights. There's just so many things that you can do with it. But there's my tutorial for you for a textured square turned into a Christmas tree. Now, if you decide to do this, please share your pictures with me. I would greatly appreciate it. Oh my goodness, guys. You know what I just did? I just laid one on top of the other. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. I just surprised myself. Look at that. One behind the other. Well, it looked better laying down than it does right here because they're not attached. But wouldn't that be cute? Put one on top of the other. Boy, you talk about a highly textured wall hanging. Oh yes. I just thought that was pretty. I wanted to share that with you. Now it looks better, like I said, when it's laying down because it fits a lot better. There we go. Does that look better? Well, my goodness gracious. Looky there. I surprised myself. Yeah. So there you go. Like I said, if you decide to do this pattern, please be sure and share it out with me on my Facebook page. There's a link to it down there in the description box. I would really like to know how it is that you, after making it, come up and decorate it. So please be sure and share. Again, thank you so much as always for watching these little designs that I come up with. I greatly appreciate it. Leave me a comment, and even if nothing else, if you'll just leave me a little wave, I do like to know who it is that stops in to watch. Please always remember to be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know, could be your light they need to see. I hope you'll stay tuned. Be on the lookout for another Christmas idea from My Crochet Story. I love you guys. Bye.